Moving on to day 9, starting off at 7 o'clock with almonds and apricots and coconut cream with a blueberry smoothie, containing 43 grams of proteins, 146 grams of carbs, and 101 grams of fat. Fats, again, allowing the expenditure of energy throughout the whole day, containing vitamins A, B, C, E, and K. So a lot of vitamins in there, and containing minerals such as calcium, phosphorus, iron, potassium, magnesium, zinc, sodium, and selenium. The calorific total of that meal coming to 1,642 calories, which would be very good, because after all it does contain quite a large amount of phosphorus in there, which is good for the release of energy from food. So this will allow this total of calories to be expended throughout the entire day. Then at 8 to 10, they'll endure a 2-hour-long vigorous gym session where they'll be given a 500 milliliter bottle of water each hour to keep them hydrated. This will be followed at 10 o'clock by a pot of 130 gram Brazil nuts and a gold standard whey protein shake, very high in proteins to help with recovery from the 2-hour-long gym session, and high in fats as well to help with the 2-hour-long fartlek training session afterwards, containing vitamins A and C and potassium, iron, calcium, selenium, copper, magnesium, and manganese. This snack was mainly to boost the calorific total up again. So as you can see in this, it almost reaches 1,000 calories. And then from 11 to 1 o'clock, they'll have a 2-hour-long fartlek training session. They'll be given a 330 milliliter bottle of water in the first hour, which should keep them going throughout the second hour as well. And then at 1 o'clock at lunchtime, they'll be having a tuna and sweet corn and cucumber sandwich with another protein shake. So this will be very, very high in proteins because of the tuna, which will help with recovery from the fartlek training session and also the gym session first thing in the morning. It's also quite high in carbohydrates, and it's got 23 grams of fat, which isn't too high, but it's not too bad. Containing vitamins A, B, and C, and minerals calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, and selenium. And then there will be an hour's rest period, and then at 3 o'clock, they will have an hour-long flexibility session, followed by another hour-long break. Then they will have oats with coconut milk, mainly just to boost the calorie total up. Day 9 is much more of a rest day than any other because yesterday was quite a vigorous session. So I wanted to give them a little bit of a break today because they had been going quite hard on a lot of the days recently. So I thought one day, but they were training but not as hard as others, wasn't a bad idea. And then lastly, to finish off, it will be Thai chicken stew with couscous with a bottle of water. So again, this is very, very high in proteins to help with the vigorous. In the morning was quite tough, but the afternoon was very, very light. So hopefully the proteins will help with recovery from the morning, and any added on proteins will help them recover. So they're nice and fresh for the next day, because the next day is quite hard because of how relaxed today's session was. So yeah, overall this adds up to 5,014 calories, which is very, very good because it's only 14 calories over the target. And then day 10, starting off at 7 with melon and crunchy bran pot, and a banana smoothie, high in carbs, not so high in fats, but that's not so bad, containing vitamin A, B, and C, and calcium, phosphorus, iron, and potassium. Phosphorus will be good for releasing the energy from the breakfast meal in the vigorous gym session, which will last 2 hours from 8 till 10, where they'll be given a 500 milliliter bottle of water in each hour. Then afterwards, because the morning's calorie total wasn't too high, I gave them a nice big one at 10 o'clock as a snack with almonds and apricots and coconut cream with a blueberry smoothie. Very high in fats and very high in carbohydrates to keep them nice and energized throughout the day, because yesterday was quite a relaxed day. I wanted them to go nice and hard on today, so contains almost all the vitamins and almost all the minerals as well, coming to a calorific total of 1,642, and again containing phosphorus, which would be great for the release of energy of these calories in the 2 hour long outdoor cycling at over 20 kilometers per hour. So they need to make sure they're very energized from this, and they should be from their 10 a.m. snack. In the cycling session, they will be given a 330 milliliter bottle of water each hour to keep them hydrated. Then at 1 o'clock for lunch, a large salmon fillet with potatoes and broccoli. Very, very high in proteins, which will help with the recovery from morning sessions. 539 grams of carbohydrates, mainly because of the potatoes and broccoli. And then not so high in the fats, but that's not so bad because it's quite high. It's very, very high in the carbohydrates, so it's alright. The fats aren't so high. Lunchtime containing vitamins of C, B, and K, and magnesium, sodium, selenium, calcium, phosphorus, and potassium. Coming to a calorie total of 1,368, which is good because we want to reach that target. Then at 2 o'clock, a hour-long session of swimming laps, good for respiratory systems, which will be good for my athlete, improving that, where they'll be given a 500 milliliter bottle of water. And then at 3, mainly just to boost the level of calories throughout the day, a 75-gram pot of pumpkin seeds. Like I said, mainly just to boost the amount of calories in the day to the target of 5,000. And then at 5 o'clock, they will start a flexibility session that will last until 7, so a duration of 2 hours. At 5 o'clock at the start of the session, they'll be given a 500 milliliter bottle of water, which will hopefully see them through the entire session. And then for dinner at 7, they'll be given pasta and tomato sauce and chicken, which will contain 31 grams of protein, which will hopefully help them recover from this afternoon's relatively light session. 95 grams of carbs and 28 grams of fats. Vitamins including B, C, and minerals, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, sodium, selenium, zinc, and iron, all equating to a calorie total of 1,040. And overall, this day comes to a total of 4,968, which is good because it's really, really, really close to the estimated average of 5,000 calories per day. Moving on to day 11, starting off with oats and coconut milk, as we have done previously on quite a few of the days. And again, reason being is because it's very high in calories, so it's a good way to start off the day, and it's high in fats as well, which is a very effective source of energy. And the fact that it contains phosphorus allows the energy from the meal to be used throughout the day very, very well. So starting off relatively lightly with a nice flexibility session to make sure that they're nice and warmed up and loose for the rest of the day. Then after this, they will have a cup of Brazil nuts, mainly to boost the calorific value of the day up to 5,000. That contains 436 calories. And then from 10 till 12, they'll be in the gym with a vigorous gym session, where each hour they'll be given a 500 milliliter bottle of water to keep them nice and hydrated. Then for lunch, they will have a tuna and avocado salad sandwich and a 500 milliliter bottle, glass of coconut milk. Got a few proteins in there, some carbs, and quite high in fats as well, mainly because of the coconut milk, containing vitamins B, C, E, and K, and iron, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, zinc, and selenium. Very, very high in calories, again, mainly because of the coconut milk with the unsaturated fats, which are good for my athlete. And then at 1 o'clock, they will endure in a 2-hour-long session of fartlek training, working on their speed play, up until 3 o'clock, where afterwards they will have a pot of pumpkin seeds, which will be 130 grams, and a protein shake to help them recover from the quite vigorous gym session, and then the speed play of fartlek training in the afternoon. I gave the pumpkin seeds mainly to boost the calorific value of the day up as well, like I had done with the Brazil nuts earlier on in the day. And then after that, they will indulge in another 2-hour-long vigorous gym session, because as we're getting close to the competition day, I need my athlete to make sure that they are at the peak of their game, so I need them to be nice and strong, especially as they're a rugby player. So working on their strength in the gym will be absolutely vital, so that's why I put them in for a second 2-hour-long gym session from 4 till 6. So then at 6, they'll have an hour-long break until 7, where they will have pasta pesto sauce and chicken as their evening meal. which has 31 grams of proteins, which will help them with the recovery from their vigorous gym session, 95 grams of carbs, and 28 grams of fats, including vitamins B, C, and minerals, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, sodium, selenium, zinc, and iron, equating to 1,040 calories, coming to a calorific total of 4,952 calories in the day, which is slightly under, but it's not so bad because there have been a couple of days previously where they have been over the estimated 5,000. Moving on to one of the final days, day 12, starting off as we have done previously in day 9 with almonds and apricots and coconut cream, with a banana smoothie, again just because it's really high in calories, and it does include quite a high amount of phosphorus, which will allow all of the energy from the fats to be used over the 2-hour long cycling session outside, lasting for 2 hours and at a very high intensity, where they're working at over 20 kilometers per hour for a solid 2 hours. So they're going to need a lot of energy for that, and hopefully the breakfast meal that I've given them will help them do that. And then at 10 o'clock afterwards, they will have a crunchy granola with berries and cherries and a 500 milliliter glass of coconut milk. Very high in fats, again, which will help them help energy expenditure throughout the rest of the day. And again, this is very high in calories, which is good because we want to reach 5,000. And then at 11, they will have a flexibility session with a 500 milliliter bottle of water to keep them nice and hydrated. For lunch, liver, broccoli, and carrots with orange juice. Quite high in protein, so hopefully that will help with recovery from the outdoor cycling session and flexibility session also. 51 grams of carbs, 6 grams of fats, vitamin B, C, and K. Zinc, which is good for the liver, calcium, potassium, magnesium, phosphorus. Not too high in calories, but they have had a lot of calories in the morning, so that's not too bad. That's actually all right. And then from 1 to 3, they'll have a 2-hour long vigorous gym session where they will be given a 330 milliliter bottle of water in the second hour to make sure that they stay hydrated. This will be followed by a 140 gram cup of Brazil nuts and a protein shake. The high proteins will hopefully help them recover from the vigorous gym session, and the 89 grams of fats will hopefully help them with energy expenditure in the second hour-long gym session to follow, where they will have a 330 milliliter bottle of water, again to keep them hydrated. This will then be followed by an hour's rest period, where they will then afterwards have a 300 milliliter bottle of water to keep them hydrated whilst they are swimming laps for a duration of an hour. So this has been a very busy day. So I thought a tuna and sweet corn and cucumber sandwich would be a good idea, because it's very high in protein, which will help them recover from a very fatiguing day. 63 carbs, not too bad, and 23 fats, which is good also. And not very high in calories, but that's absolutely fine because the morning was very high in calories, and the other drinks and foods have just been used to boost it up to 5,000, which we were very close to doing, just 90 calories short of the estimated 5,000, which isn't too bad at all.